Hi everyone, my name is Moski, and I'm back with a guide for Ino in Strive 2.0. Like most characters, Ino was nerfed in Strive 2.0, but she still maintains her core game plan and received a few buffs that give her some new options to play with. This guide will cover the basics, as well as some more advanced concepts you need to know to have success. This video also assumes that you already know the basics of Strive and numpad notation. If you have questions about any terms, consult either the fighting game glossary or Dustloop. I'm going to refer to most of her special moves by their community names, but I'll call them by their official names the first time I mention them. If you get confused, here's a list of her moves and their community names. You can also check out Dustloop. Ino is a rushdown character with easy access to overheads from her hover dash. She excels at running pressure after a knockdown and can easily loop knockdowns to keep her opponents trapped in the vortex. Her mix is strongest after a knockdown, but she can mix her opponents through block strings. In addition to her high-low mix, she has easy access to plus frames through her air normals and 214S. She also has very strong frame trap/reset mix. Unlike some other rushdown characters, Ino has the tools to fight at most ranges. Besides being terrifying from close range, she has two projectiles with Note and Chemical Love, and great buttons to fight with in the mid-range. In exchange for these strengths, Ino can struggle in neutral due to her dash and slow walk speed. Ino cannot block for 9 frames after dashing, and if she does block after dashing, she's in the air, which subjects her to additional block stun. As a result, her dash blocking is much weaker than most characters. Her neutral can also be committal. It can require you to take risks, and she can be punished heavily for being wrong. She does good damage in the corner, but mid-screen it's unimpressive. She also has a weak defense. Her 2P is very stubby, and her 5P whiffs on crouching opponents. This means that her 6-frame 2K is often her best mash option. Her lack of a normal air dash can make it difficult to get out the corner, and her health is on the lower side, which means she can't take many risks on defense. Still, despite these flaws, Ino is always just knocked down away from being one of the most terrifying characters in the game. Let's start with her basic game plan in neutral. Ino wants to get in, get a knockdown, run Oki, and then loop that situation over and over. Step 1 of this plan is getting in, and her hover dash is her main way of doing that. Her dash is very fast when moving short distances because of its nearly instant acceleration, but it's very reactable over a longer distance. JS is one of the main things she does after hover dash. It's one of the best ways for her to get her offense started. Hover JS does a lot for her. It's an overhead, it's plus on block, it lets her start her mix-ups, and it's a great combo starter that can combo into a hard knockdown. After a short hover, JS is plus 6 on block, but she'll be less plus or even minus after a longer hover. Ino travels higher in the air the longer she dashes. The higher she is when any of her air normals connect, the less plus she will be, so be careful about dashing for too long. Her mix-ups after block JS generally work better the lower to the ground that JS is blocked as well. She has several options she can do after JS. She can follow it up with another overhead with JD, or go low with 2K. She can also frame trap with close slash or 6H. After hover, instead of doing JS, Ino can land and do 2K. 2K is her main low option and it's a combo starter. Empty over 2K is great opening people up who are trying to block JS, and it can be very hard to react to when done well. 2K combos into 6H from close range and into 2D from most ranges. Because her mix is so hard to deal with after hover, people will try to stuff her dash. Stroke is another way to get in. It allows her to go under a lot of moves that would hit hover dash, and it also hits low, which punishes people who are stand blocking because they are worried about JS. S-stroke is incredibly fast and a great way to get in when combined with her hover dash. The reward for hitting S-stroke on normal hit is fairly low, but it is plus 5 on hit, which creates a favorable RPS situation for Ino. On counter hit, it gives a knockdown, and with meter, she can convert it into a combo. Be careful about overusing S-stroke, because it's prone to being counter hit by preemptive grounded moves like 2S's, 2H's, and 2D's. It's also minus 7 on block, which means that it can be punished on block if it's not spaced out. H-stroke is much slower, but it has a lot of low profile. It can go under certain moves like far slashes, and the reward on hit is high. It's also safe on block at minus 2. You might not always want to go in because some characters can cover both stroke and hover very well, or you might want to do something less risky. Fortunately, Ino is fairly comfortable fighting in the mid-range. She has solid pokes that she can convert into hard knockdowns, which lets her get her offense started. 2S is a great poke with surprising range, and since it's 10 frames, it is faster than a lot of other moves, allowing it to beat them and score a counter hit. 2S is one of your best moves to press at round start. Just keep in mind that despite the animation, this move is a mid. Far Slash is a similar type of poke. It has better range and it's disjointed, but it's much slower. You can buffer 5H after Far Slash or 2S in order to convert, but be careful because 5H will whiff from further ranges. Her K buttons are also good pokes since they have solid range and fast recovery. If opponents are approaching with aggressive options, Ino can counter poke with her 6P and 2H. 2H is a great option to throw out and fish for counter hits in neutral. It is a large disjointed hitbox on the ground with fast startup, fast recovery, and high reward on counter hit. Its only downside is that the reward on normal hit is low. 6P has a great hitbox in front and above her. It's great at beating a lot of mids, and is a good way to stuff people running up to you with buttons. And like most characters, it's also her main anti-air. Unlike most rushdown characters, Ino has some great long-range options with her 2 projectiles. Chemical Love is a very quick projectile that hits nearly full screen. HCL is meant to beat other projectiles, and it can stop a lot of other characters from using their fireballs. On hit, Ino can dash in or do air note and approach behind it. Air HCL recovers much quicker and lets her safely zone or hit characters doing things in the air. Doing JHCL and then grounded HCL back to back is very effective in a lot of matchups. HCL has some downsides however. It cannot hit any character who is crouching or dashing, and Ino is in counter hit recovery after she uses the move. That means that if done predictably, an opponent can easily dash under it and counter hit her for a big punish. Antidepressant scale is mostly used for Oki, but it's an incredibly strong option in neutral too. Note has very slow startup. It takes nearly a full second for the move to finish, but if you can get it on the screen, it's an incredibly powerful neutral tool. Ino can pallet the note by holding it up or down. Note gains more hits the further it travels, so if used from long range and the opponent blocks it, Ino will usually be plus enough to get in and get her offense started. Once she has meter, Ino becomes incredibly scary. Stroke and dive become safe on block and lead to powerful mix-ups if they are blocked. Dive in particular becomes very strong with meter. It goes from being unsafe on hit to an incredibly fast whiff punishing tool that gives a combo on hit and a powerful mix-up on block. When she has meter, opponents need to play very carefully in neutral. They have to try and stuff her approach, or they're forced to use YRC or DS to get away. This is just a basic overview of some of the most common things you can do in neutral. Ino's neutral will change a lot based on the matchup. With Ino, it's very important to combo correctly. Accidentally dropping combos or doing non-optimal routes will result in you not getting Oki. It is critical that you prioritize Oki when you're deciding which combo to do. Unless it will kill, a simple combo that gives Oki is generally better than a higher damaging one that does not give good Oki. Another thing to consider is that you can intentionally drop your combos if you're in the corner to go for a reset. If done well, you'll get good Oki, and this can be a stronger position than resetting back to neutral with positive bonus. Or if you use RC to get to the corner, you can stall the tension penalty so that when you do break the wall, you get more time to actually use the meter gain from positive bonus. Here's a few combos to get you started, but check out our dust loop for more. I keep it updated regularly. Once you get close, it's time to pour on the pressure. Ino excels at both high-low mix and frame trap reset mix. Her pressure starts with the JS, which is plus on block, and it can be followed up with highs or lows. JH functions a lot like JS, but it's generally more plus on block. It's better after a longer hover because it's more plus than JS, and because Ino will fall slightly during the startup animation, which makes her more plus since she's lower to the ground when the move connects. I'm going to be talking about JS here, but just note that the situations after JH are mostly the same. After JS, Ino can do a high-low mix-up with JD or 2K. 2K can be gapless after a short hover JS, and there's a 3-frame gap between JS and JD where defenders can mash 6P or a reversal. You can also frame trap with 6H or close slash. If 6H or close slash are done after a short hover JS, there will be a 1-frame gap, which lets you blow up throws. 6H is generally a better frame trap option since it gives a better and easier combo mid-screen on normal hit and counter hit, but is worse on block than close slash, which is plus on block. Close slash also has the benefit of having gatlings after it, like 2S and 5H, whereas 6H, which doesn't have any gatlings and only has special cancels. If JD is blocked, Ino is only -2, so this is fairly safe. You can frame trap with K-dive, which is safe on block and on hit so long as it connects low to their body. On hit, you can spacing trap them for mashing. You can also frame trap with H-dive, which is very risky on block, but is not a bad idea if you have meter. If 2K is blocked, Ino can gatling into either 2D or 6H. There's a gap between 2K and 2D that opponents can reversal through, so 6H is safer if you're in range. She can also 5D after 2K, which is a great way to close out rounds. You can do 2K after JS, but it's important to represent 2K in spots where they might expect JS, like after certain knockdowns. Doing empty hover 2K is also incredibly strong, and can be very difficult to react to if done well. If defenders are worried about empty hover 2K, then JD starts becoming a great option. JD alters Ino's momentum, so it looks like she's falling before she moves back up and goes into the move. If someone is trying to react to empty hover 2K, they might see the startup of JD and think it's 2K and block low. It's also great at catching backdashes and a bunch of delayed or fuzzy options, including fuzzy block. After blocked JS or JH, Ino can do HCL in the air and hold forward, or JHCL 6 for plus frames. It will generally be +4 or 5 respectively on block. This is less plus than she is after block JS or JH, but moves her closer to her opponent, which is good against FD, and it messes with people's timings on defense if they're trying to mash or backdash during a specific gap. After they block JHCL 6, you want to either frame trap with 2K or CS, or go for a reset with hover. Mid-screen, you'll be too far away for the defender to throw you, but in the corner, you can be thrown if you try to press 2K or CS after JHCL 6. They use 2P to counter hit defenders for trying it. Once Ino is out of gatlings, she can either end her turn or special cancel into a frame trap or reset. S-stroke is the main frame trap option, but it is punishable on block. MLA is a reactable reset, but you need to be careful about overusing it since defenders can reliably 6P it on reaction. Doing good mix to mental stack opponents is very important if you want them to block MLA. It's also important to mix up when you do MLA in your block strings. If you only ever MLA after 6H or 5H, then it becomes far easier to react to. MLA creates an RPS situation if it's blocked. So let's go over the main options. Falling JS. This is gapless, but the reward on hit is fairly low. But if it's blocked, you can do this string, which builds a good amount of meter and keeps you close to your opponent. Land 2K. This is gapless as well, and leads to 2D Oki on hit. Air dash JS. There's a gap that can be mashed on or backdashed here, but it gives a much better combo and hit and stronger mix if blocked. Frame trap 2S. This is mostly done as a read if you think the opponent will mash. It has great ward and hit, but if it's blocked, it's hard to get back in. Finally, land and rehover. This option has the biggest gap, but since you go back into JS, you have all your options available to you after. Do this if you think your opponent will just keep blocking. Ino can also use her hover to go for a reset after a blocked normal. Hover JS is 17 frames, which is unreactable, and 11 frames faster than MLA. Opponents who are worried about her gatlings and special cancels are often not able to react to her rehovering. This also has the benefit of encouraging her opponents to mash, which can make her frame traps stronger. Any move that is only slightly minus or ones that are plus are great spots to try and sneak in a rehover. Blocks JS, Close Slash, JHCL6, 2K, 2H, or even 6H are good spots to try to rehover. You can also just backdash or jump away to reset back to neutral if you don't want to risk getting counter hit or trying to get back in. Since opponents have to look out for both frame traps and resets, you can also do fake strings like 2K 2K, 2S 2K, 6H 5K, or 5H 5H. These strings allow Ino a safe pressure reset of sorts and also encourage mashing, which makes your frame traps stronger. Finally, Ino doesn't have much of a strike throw game, but throws are still a good option. She has a harder time threatening throws than a lot of characters due to her hover dash and slow walk speed. Still, it can be worth going for sometimes. Some common ways to use throws are empty hover throw, or tick throws after blocked JS, JH, or JK. Using JK to set up tick throws is very good due to the low pushback of JK on block. After you get a knockdown, it's time to mix. Ino has two main forms of Oki, Note Oki and Safe Jumps. Each has their own pros and cons, and one might work better for a certain knockdown than the other. Note Oki is primarily done for 2D knockdowns and is easier for beginners to learn. It will naturally catch people backdashing or pressing buttons on wake up, and it lets you bait certain metered defensive options like YRC and reversal supers. The downside is that it doesn't work after certain knockdowns and it won't work on the corner. It's also fairly easy for the defender to deflect shield on reaction. Note Oki is also easier to fuzzy block, but there is anti-fuzzy counterplay that you can use to deal with this. Safe jumps are better against DPs and work on most knockdowns, including in the corner. On certain knockdowns, instead of doing a safe jump, Ino can also do a meaty 2K. Most empty hover 2Ks are not meaty, but in meaty 2K, it's the same frame as a safe jump. This creates a true, unfuzzyable 50-50, and if set up correctly, it's not reactable. Being able to threaten a safe jump and a meaty low is how you destroy anyone's defense with Ino. Just be aware that meaty 2K is not a safe jab, so it is not safe to reversals. If you know your opponent is going to use deflect shield on wake up, you can fake a safe jump and then do a throw or a delayed attack to counter hit the recovery of deflect shield. The main downside of safe jumps is that they are prone to being backdashed. Ino has many option selects that she can use to deal with these. Note makes dealing with backdash easier than using OSs. Safe jump inputs are also easier to mess up than Note Oki because they are mostly manually timed. If you are new to the character, it is very important that you spend time learning your safe jumps. I'm not going to cover how to OS with Ino in this video, because Metallic Cake has an excellent video going over her OSs in detail. Pretty much all of the information in the video is still relevant. I cannot recommend this video enough. I believe it's required viewing for any Ino player. Safe jumps are mostly done by dashing and then whiffing JH to manually time a frame kill and then doing hover JS. Not all knockdowns are the same, but this frame kill lets you set up a safe jump on a lot of them. Doing 2D and then special canceling it into 214S is an easy frame kill that is also very effective at setting up a meaty 2K as well. This works anytime you get a knockdown with 2D. After throw, whiffed JD auto times a safe jump and also sets up a meaty low. Dash up JH can be used to safe jump after super wall break and also after dive air hit or 236 air hit knockdowns. When going for Note Oki, you'll have to manually delay the note input based on the distance between your opponent and you. The closer they are, the longer the delay. I'm going to cover some common knockdowns and what type of Oki works best for each and why. If you're ever unsure of whether to do Note Oki or safe jumps, just default to safe jumps. They're flexible and they're consistent. 2D, close range. You're too close here to go for Note Oki. Always go for a safe jump. You can manually time it with whiff JH, but I would recommend using the MLA frame kill so you can easily safe jump or go for a meaty 2K. 2D mid-range. This spacing is common after something like block JS 2K 2D. Here, you can go for Note Oki or safe jump. If you choose to do Note Oki and you go for empty for 2K, be aware that there will be a gap and your opponent can act before the 2K connects. 2D far range. You almost always want to use Note Oki here. This kind of note Oki is the strongest Oki Ino has because of just how plus note leaves you. Ino can go both high and low, and she has enough time to fake either way. You can safe jump here, but note Oki is much stronger. 6H, H-stroke. You almost always want to safe jump on these knockdowns because note will not hit meaty after H-stroke. Still, it can be worth using note Oki against spike-in, or if you're particularly concerned about metered options. Bro, either works here, but safe jumps are generally stronger, since doing whiff JD as a frame kill lets you threaten both a safe jump and a meaty 2k. 5H, S-stroke, or S-dive knockdowns. For both of these, safe jump by doing dash GH. Note Oki will not work. HCL6 in the corner. Manually time a safe jump here. Note Oki will not work. Super wall break. Safe jump by doing hover GH. This one can be tricky, so be sure to spend some time practicing it. Note Oki will not work here. Ino is amazing with tension, since she has multiple effective ways to spend it. Starting with the basics, Ino can use red RC to keep her turn if her opponent manages to block her initial string. Blocked red RC gives enough plus frames for you to go into either hover JS or do an empty hover into a low. You also have enough plus frames to change up your timings here, which makes this mix very difficult to deal with. Another basic use is converting stray hits into a full combo. Ino's RC combos generally have good corner carry and let you break the wall from around mid-screen. You can also use the meter to convert these stray hits into a knockdown. Going for a knockdown can oftentimes be better than breaking the wall, since tension penalty still applies after breaking the wall in Strive 2.0. The downside is you lose out on some damage by not breaking the wall, and these routes tend to not do that much damage to begin with. Breaking the wall with Ultimate Fortissimo is still a very good use of meter in 2.0. Super wall break does a solid amount of damage, and oftentimes if you land a combo after the super hard knockdown, the damage will be enough to kill, or at least be very close to it. Super wall break is not always the best option, so be sure to consider whether you might want to avoid going back to neutral compared to how valuable more tension might be. Megalomania is not exactly the most effective use of meter, since it does fairly low damage, builds opponents a ton of burst and tension, and lacks throw invulnerability on startup, but it's a very fun move to use, and don't let being optimal ever get in the way of having fun in your video game. On the other hand, using fast RC is one of the most efficient and optimal ways for Ino to spend meter. These combos generally have better corner carry than normal RC combos. They also only have a very short tension penalty, which allows Ino to actually benefit from the meter gain from positive bonus if she uses these routes to break the wall. These combos are definitely harder than normal RC routes, but it's well worth your time to practice them. Dive RC is another very strong use of meter. Dive is incredibly fast with RC, it gives a combo on hit or a very powerful mix-up if blocked. It's not as easy to hit confirm as Dive RC was in previous patches, but it's still one of the best ways she can spend meter. If you find it hard to do the hit confirm fast RC route, doing normal red RC into a combo is still a very good way to spend meter. Finally, DRC lets Ino do even stronger mix than she normally can. This mix is especially hard to block and is very meter efficient, but the damage on hit is fairly low in most cases. After blocked CS or blocked JS, you can dash cancel or air dash cancel into 6-6 BRC in order to set up BRC mix-ups. Ino is still mostly the same in 2.0. If you played her in older seasons, she's very similar, but still has some of the fun new things that she got in Season 4. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who watched my last video and left kind words. It really means a lot. Go out there and do some good mix.